Hello everyone, welcome to Narayana IAS Academy. My name is Shubham Sagar and in today's daily news analysis of 2nd July 2024, as always, we have taken 5 articles combined of Hindu and Indian Express. If we talk about the first article of the day, which is on Hindu page number 8, this article is talking about 16th Finance Commission, which will have its mandate from 2026 to 2030. Here we'll be talking about different issues which 16th Finance Commission has to take into consideration, right? If we talk about the second article of the day, which is on Indian Express page number 13, that is titled Project Nexus, here we'll be talking about ASEAN and RBI, how they are collaborating to make retail payments easier. If we talk about the third article of the day, which is on Indian Express page number 1, here we'll be talking about Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary and what led to Chital stock dwindling there. Are cheetahs responsible for it? We will find out. If we talk about the fourth article of the day, which is on Hindu Science page number 2, here we'll be talking about elementary particles like Higgs boson and whether they are making our universe more stable or unstable. If we talk about the last article of the day, which is on Hindu page number 7, and here we'll be talking about how we can ensure voter anonymity in certain areas. Political leaders, they know in which particular area people in bulk voted for which political leader or political party. What is the solution for that? What is a totalizer machine? We'll be talking about all these things in detail. After we have done all these 5 articles, we'll be solving 5 prelims practice question and 1 mains practice question, because as we have discussed earlier, practice makes a man as well as a woman perfect. If we talk about the first article of the day, now this particular article is on 16th Finance Commission and there are so many important keywords associated with this particular article. Finance Commission, which kind of a body it is? It is a constitutional body. Under which article? Article 280 of the Constitution. We are talking about 16th Finance Commission. What is the tenure of 16th Finance Commission? Let's say 2026 to 2030. So then why are we talking about it right now in 2024? Because they will set the agenda. What should be the process of devolution of resources. Then there will be different terms like what is income distance, what is demographic performance, what is tax effort, and we should be knowing about these terms. If you're able to understand these terms, that means you got the gist of this article, right? So previous year question has been asked on 14th Finance Commission. So there is a high probability that they can ask you a question on 15th and the different agendas of 16th Finance Commission as well. So what is the context? 16th Finance Commission has started their work under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution. And one more question for you people. I have seen in the previous DNA, you people have, some of you have like posted your marks out of 5 prelims practice question, how much you got. Same thing you have to do for this particular video also. At the end, we'll be giving you 5 prelims practice question. You have to tell your marks. Also, one thing you have to do. Article 280 is related to Finance Commission. Which body we are talking about when we are talking about Article 148? If you know that, you can post it in the comment section as well. This way you'll be remembering things in a better manner. So important points and agendas related to 16th Finance Commission. Where is 16th Finance Commission focusing on primarily? So first thing first, they are focusing on devolution to local bodies, panchayats and municipalities. So they have been given constitutional status under 73rd and 74th Amendment, right? But have the devolution of resources to these local bodies been at the level at which it is required? The answer is no. So Finance Commission needs to do a lot more in this regard. Subclauses 280, clause 3, subclause B, B and C deals with Finance Commission or mandate Finance Commission to recommend measures to support these local bodies financially. So after we are done with this article, now you will understand the agenda. First agenda is proper devolution of resources to local bodies. Then cities, they are contributing almost 2/3 of GDP and 9/10 of total government revenues, but still they are not getting adequate fund. Most of the funds are going to villages because, as somebody said, heart of India lies in its villages. If you know who said this, again you can post it in the comment section. So one issue, local bodies. Second issue, cities, they are not getting enough fund. Third issue, we have not yet conducted 2021 census. So even 16th Finance Commission, whatever they will be recommending for 2026 to 2030 period, they'll be recommending it on the basis of the data gathered from 2011 census, which is 15 years, 13, 14 years old, right? So again, that is also a issue because you are not getting the current data. So hope you're understanding the different agendas and different points related to what 16th Finance Commission are basing or will be basing their recommendations on, right? Now, we have to rewind. 16th Finance Commission recommendation will come. We are talking about the agendas. But 14th Finance Commission has been done and 15th Finance Commission recommendation has also been put forward. Now here, these are the different weightage. You can have a look at it. What we are more concerned about is or are different terms like income distance. What is demographic performance? What is tax effort? You should be or we should be knowing about these terms, and if we are knowing about this, if you are understanding about it, then you'll be feeling happy after we are done with this article. Weightage also is important because UPSC can ask that income distance is having 50% weightage in 15 Finance Commission recommendation, which will be wrong because they are having 45%. So everything related to this particular image or infographic is important, but the most important part is these three terms. Income distance. If we talk about income distance, so let's say Bihar. So Bihar per capita income, how far it is from Goa? Goa is the state, if I'm not wrong, with the highest per capita. So that is income distance. Difference in per capita income between a given state and the state with the highest per capita income within a country. So if let's say Goa has the highest per capita income within the country and Bihar, we are comparing what is the per capita income of Bihar. And we are just finding out the difference. If the difference is huge, that means Bihar will get more money because Bihar is in a much more vulnerable state. So that is the income distance criteria. The more poorer a state is, the more money or the more devolution of resources will be happening or will be given to them, right? Or will be assigned to them, these states, poorer states. Demographic performance. So sometimes there is a north-south divide also. Most of the southern states, they feel like they're performing good, but they are not rewarded adequately by the Finance Commission via their devolution of resources. So to keep that in account, there was another criteria which was introduced. You can see this demographic performance. Demographic performance was not there in 14th Finance Commission. It was introduced in 15th Finance Commission and it was given 1/8 weightage, which is actually huge. What is this demographic performance? If you are able to like control your population, right? You are able to control your birth and death rates, fertility rate, all these things, then you will be awarded. That you will be given award or you'll be given a little bit more resources. So that will incentivize other states to perform better in this demographic performance means category or to control their fertility rate. Because if you read about Bimaru states, there's an acronym. This is not made by me. You must have heard about it. Bimaru, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Most of these states have total fertility rate of more than 3. That means an average female population is producing more than 3 child. Total fertility rate, if I'm not wrong, in 2024 UPSC Prelims, they have asked this question, right? So this will incentivize the Bimaru states and other states to keep a tab on their fertility rates and all these things, right? So demographic performance. And then the third part is tax effort. So let's say you can, and in simple terms, let's say there is a state called Maharashtra. And simple terms, this is not the actual data. Let's say they are able or they have a capacity of 12 crores or 1200 crores. They can extract 1200 crores as tax, but they are able to extract 1000 crores. Okay, so their capability was 1200 and they are able to extract 1000. Let's say there is another state called Bihar. Their capability is 2000 crore. They can extract 2000, but they are extracting only 500. In this scenario, this Maharashtra state, they will be awarded because they are doing good as far as their tax effort is concerned. So hope you're understanding this whole scenario. See, these are three very critical or crucial terms which we should be knowing when we are reading about Finance Commission. If you talk about the second article of the day, this is related to Project Nexus. They can directly ask you, what is Project Nexus all about? And here there are different terms which we need to cater to. RBI is collaborating with some of the ASEAN countries to enable the process when we are transacting with each other. And here we are talking about, when we are talking about each other, that means we are referring to different countries. So the process should be more smoother. And in that regard, Project Census has come upon us and we'll be reading about it. If you see RBI, open market operations, these kind of questions have been asked related to RBI, related to ASEAN, and even BIS, which is related or associated with this Project Nexus. So what is the context? RBI has joined Project Nexus, which is a multilateral initiative. That means multiple entities are involved here, aimed at enabling instant cross-border retail payments by interlinking domestic fast payment system. So the domestic fast payment system of our country is UPI, Unified Payment Interface, if I'm not wrong, and there are similar kind of interfaces in other countries as well. So India's Unified Payment Interface and FPSS of Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand will be interlinked through Nexus, and slowly and gradually more countries will be involved. More countries of ASEAN will be also involved here. Now when we are talking about ASEAN, let me tell you a mnemonic. Association of Southeast Asian Nations, there are 10 countries who are like the direct members, and then there are observers and additional countries. So there is a mnemonic for those 10 countries. Just remember it. That will help you. BPLTV mimics. BPLTV mimics. B is Brunei, P is Philippines, L is Laos, T is Thailand, V is Vietnam, M is Myanmar, other M is Malaysia, I is Indonesia, C is Cambodia, S is Singapore. So BPLTV, in like old ages, 10 years, 15 years back, there used to be a company for TV, BPL. So BPLTV mimics. That will help you. And we'll see the map also later on. So Project Nexus is conceptualized by BIS, Bank for International Settlement, which is also known as Banks for Banks, or Bank of Central Banks. A bank which is helping central banks is BIS. Where is the headquarter of BIS? Basel. Where is Basel? Switzerland. We'll talk about that. So cross-border payment will be enhanced by connecting multiple domestic instant payment system globally. Now, what is BIS? It is Bank for International Settlement, established in 1930, and it is a bank for central banks, headquartered in Basel. These are the keywords. We don't need to do PhD. It's not like you have an economy optional and you are reading in that regard. You have to understand it from GS perspective. If you are understanding or talking about BIS, what is it? It is a bank for central banks. It will be helping central bank. Like there is a term also, refinance agency and reinsurance agency. So what is a refinance agency? An agency which is financing a finance agency. So in simple terms, let's say you have SBI. In that scenario, you have SBI, that is a finance agency or commercial bank, and RBI is helping it. RBI is a refinance agency. Reinsurance agency, LIC is an insurance agency. An agency which will be insuring LIC will be a reinsurance agency. So you can understand it. BIS, you can take it as a refinance agency, headquartered in Basel, Switzerland. Fine. Now, this particular map will help you in remembering ASEAN countries. Just remember the mnemonic. BPLTV mimics Brunei, Philippines, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, and Singapore. So Myanmar you can see here, Malaysia you can see here, Indonesia, Cambodia, and Singapore. So keep this 10 countries in mind. That will help you in solving so many other questions related to, like in prelims, international relations, in mains as well, and it will help you in writing a better answer as well. If we talk about the third article of the day, which is related to environment, GS3 environment, and again we look for keywords, we look for terms which can be asked by UPSC in pre as well as mains. So there are different terms here like Chital, a kind of deer. What is the IUCN status? What is happening? Why their stocks are dwindling? Kuno Palpur National Park. UPSC has already asked a PYQ on Kuno Palpur. Then because of Chital stock dwindling, there is a plan to move out access cheetah. Again, a keyword cheetah. What is the IUCN status? Where are they found? Why they're like even the numbers of cheetahs have declined? Why has that happened? So there are so many. Kuno Palpur transfer will be happening to Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So where is Kuno National Park? In which state? Where is Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary? So you can see from this particular article, from this like snippet only, how many important terms are there in this particular article. And see, in UPSC 2017, they have asked this question in prelims, that there is a proposal, or there was a proposal to translocate some of the lions from natural habitat in Gujarat to which of the following sites, and the answer was Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary, which is now a national park. So Kuno National Park to Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, cheetahs will be transferred. Now, why are cheetahs transferred? This was a very enthusiastic project by our government where we have brought cheetah from Africa. Some of them died and the population has decreased, but still we have a sizable number of cheetah which will be transferred from Kuno National Park to Gandhi Sagar because cheetah prey on something which is known as Chital. The name sounds very familiar. That's like, see, this is Chital, this is a kind of deer, but the population of Chital has declined. So if Chital is not there, how will cheetah survive? Hope you're understanding this. This is becoming little like romantic also. So the point here is that since Chital is not there, cheetah also has to be relocated somewhere else. And what is the current status here? So yeah, we have 26 cheetahs, 13 cubs and 13 sub-adults. And we will be decreasing it to 21 just because cheat means we don't have enough cheetal. We don't have enough deer, which is the prominent or the dominant prey of cheetah, right? So 25% of Kuno's cheetal population have been lost since 2022. Why they have been lost? What is the reason for that? Where are these, have these deers gone? Poaching, is it the reason? No. The reason is leopard. So leopard is again involved here, and big tiger. So to take care of leopard, Government is thinking about introducing bigger cats rather, like tiger or lion, to keep a tab on the cheetal population. So this is a very interesting article where we are talking about different kind of species and how they are interrelated. Now let's talk about cheetal. So range is they're native to Indian subcontinent and they're also been introduced to other countries. Preferred habitat, deciduous forest grasslands, they prefer open woodlands. And their IUCN status is least concern. We have a large population overall, but the population has decreased in Kuno Palpur because of leopard. Leopard is the primary reason. About cheetah now, let's talk about cheetah. Historically widespread across Africa and Asia. Now here we are talking about historically. Currently, most populations are found in sub-Saharan Africa and small populations are there in Iran as well. Keep a tab on this because questions will be asked and in the end you have to tell your marks in the comment section. Preferred habitat, open savanna grassland just like cheetal because they prey on cheetal. IUCN red list, vulnerable, their population is decreasing. Cheetal, least concern. Cheetah, vulnerable. So important. If we talk about the fourth article of the day, this is the most technical article out of all the 5 articles which we'll be reading today, studying today. And there are so many different terms. What is very important is, I will show you in the slide, you have to understand this. If you have been, if you're able to understand these terms, which you have to revise, then this particular article or me teaching you this particular article, the whole thing is successful. So there are terms like Fermi ions, boson. Now somebody can ask you, electrons will come under Fermi ions or boson. So these are the keywords which you need to pay attention to and which you need to understand. So once we are done with this article, if you're able to understand these terms, then this article, or again, this whole thing, if I've taken this article, the whole thing is successful in some way or the other. So let's come back. So why are scientists looking for Higgs boson's best friend? Higgs boson, one of the most elementary particles, which is responsible for almost all kind of universal creation which we are seeing, right? And there is a Higgs field also. But more than the Higgs boson particle, what we are interested or what this article is talking about, we will see. So you can see here black holes, these kind of terms like gravitational waves, Higgs boson, they have been asked earlier by UPSC. So what is the context? Article explains a significant scientific achievement where scientists have precisely measured the mass of top quark. Now what is top quark? Things will be clearer in just few minutes from now. So don't worry. Just have a look at it. So top quark, which is the heaviest known subatomic particle, a particle smaller than the atom. What are these particles which are smaller than the atom, which we have read in chemistry? Let's say electron, proton, neutrons. So this top quark will comprise something. It will be either like proton or neutron or electron. We'll be seeing that in just few moments from now. But this is the meaning of the term subatomic particle smaller than the atom, right? And the most precise measurement of this top quark mass has been observed to be 172.52. Sometimes what happens, people when they are reading decimal places now, after point they read 52. It is not 52, it is 172.52. GeV c square upon c square. What is GeV c upon c square? This is a unit which you need to know. So giga electron volt divided by speed of the light squared, right? This C stands for speed of the light and GeV is giga electron volt. So the precise, again, these are all technical facts. We are more concerned with these terms because these are the basics which UPSC generally ask, right? So now let's come to this part. So these are the fundamental particles which are creating our universe in some way or the other. So what are the basics? If you are talking about Fermi ions, so they are making up matter. If you're talking about bosons, so they are carrying force, right? So Fermi ions which are making your matter. And what makes our matter? This proton, this neutron, this electrons, right? So in Fermi ions are further subdivided into quark and leptons. In quark, you have proton and neutron. And we were talking about top quark only. If you go back, we were talking about top quark. So that means they can give you that proton and neutron are lying under lepton. So you will say, no, that is wrong. Proton and neutron are part of quark. And electron is a part of lepton. So this you have to just understand. Fermi ions have two major subtypes, quark and lepton. They are the particles which are making up matter. And the particles which are generating force or carrying force, they are known as boson, which includes Higgs boson as well. And some will be responsible for electromagnetic force. We have different kind of force. Some will be responsible for strong force, weak force. Again, don't go that deep into detail. Just understand one very important thing here. Quarks and leptons, they are part of Fermi ions. Quark is associated with proton and neutron, and lepton is associated with electron. This is important. This part is very important. And what are Higgs boson? They'll be giving masses to particles after they are colliding in the Higgs field, right? So again, they provide masses and they are one of the most fundamental particles in the universe. So what we have talked about here, quark and lepton, this part is important. Quark, proton, neutron, lepton, electron. This part you just keep in mind, and rest all part you can ignore to a certain extent. They are very, very technical in nature. So Higgs boson and Higgs field. So this is known as a God particle. What is a God particle? When we talk about God, we say that everything has been created by God, everything will be destroyed by God. So God particle means a particle which is almost inherently present in all the things which you are seeing in the universe. That is Higgs boson. Fundamental particle associated with the Higgs field, which is imparting or responsible for imparting mass to other fundamental particles, initially proposed by Peter Higgs. Now, again, let's go back. Higgs boson we are talking about. So it will be coming under what? It will be coming under quark or boson. It will be coming under, as the name suggests, boson. So they can say that Higgs boson come under Fermi ions. You will be saying no, that is wrong, because Fermi ions breaks into two parts, quark and leptons, and in quark and lepton, Higgs boson does not come. So again, this is little technical in nature, more than little, it is very technical in nature. Once you are going through the slide 2 or 3 times, things will become much more clearer to you. So don't worry about it, just remember this particular image. Quark, leptons, proton, neutron and electron, right? And which is known as God's particle, Higgs boson, fundamental particle, right? And this was discovered in Large Hadron Collider. Again, places in news, instruments in news, all these things, different things are in news. So they can ask you, where is this Large Hadron Collider? That is in CERN, Switzerland, right? If we talk about the last article of the day, now there was a trend earlier where voting, counting, or like used to happen from a particular polling booth, and political parties used to gauge from which polling booth, like which community has voted for whom. So people or political parties and political leaders, they were able to predict the pattern. And this whole article is about how we can ensure complete voter anonymity, because then there will be pressure on those voters that political parties will go and they will be like, no, if they are the MP or MLA and that particular locality has not voted for him or her, then in that scenario, that political leader, MP or MLA, may or may not serve that particular locality. So to avoid all these kind of scenarios, we are talking about a concept called totalizer machine. What is this totalizer technology we'll be talking about, right? And this is very important because transparent, like elections, there is a quotation which I keep on telling you, or I may have told you people earlier, that election should not only be fair, it should also be seen as fair. And in that regard, totalizer machine, since it will ensure that voters will not have anything to fear about, so maybe there is more and more transparency, voters will be more and more fearless when they are voting for a particular candidate, right? So in the light of recent controversy, EVM is a hotshot topic. UPSC keeps on asking questions from EVM, and totalizer machine is a part of EVM, right? Because we are continuing with EVM in spite of all the skepticism which was surrounding EVM, right? So what is the context? The topic addresses the issue of voter anonymity. Whom I have voted, BJP, Congress, TDP or any other party, that should be my own personal concern. And if I'm telling my friends, that's a different matter altogether, but there has to be anonymity. No other political leaders or parties should be knowing where or whom I have voted. So Election Commission of India has proposed the use, and there's a very interesting thing here. So there is a totalizer machine which will be taking different votes from different EVMs and they'll be mixing it. And here also there are some, and if you look at from the, like from far ahead or from outside, if you look at it, this whole proposal, you may feel like, no, this is actually a very just proposal, this should go on. But there are some political parties which are saying that no, we don't want this. Many political parties are supporting totalizer machine, many political parties are supporting the mixing of votes, but some are not supporting. And when you will read their justification why they are not supporting this mixing, you will feel like, okay, they are also making a sense. We'll talk about that. So propose the use of totalizer to prevent the identification of voting patterns at specific booth, which can lead to post-election harassment and targeted this whole political retaliation, right? So proposal has faced resistance from the government and differing opinions among political parties. We'll talk about that differing opinions, why government is resisting, why BJP is saying something that they don't want totalizer machine, because they are saying that when you do this whole process of mixing of votes, there is a chance that you, even if you don't want to, you expose the voting patterns or you expose who has voted for whom. So there is a chance for that to happen, right? So that's why there is some amount of skepticism. We'll talk about it. So the current counting system is booth-wise counting. Currently votes are counted and results are declared at the booth level. So we know, or political parties, political leaders know at a particular booth who won, who got, but means more seat, BJP, Congress, and again that is not good for the people of that particular booth. booth rather. So this practice can reveal voting patterns in specific areas, potentially leading to voter intimidation and targeting by political parties, and that's what this totalizer machine attempts to avoid. Why introducing a totalizer is imperative and necessary. This is a technology which aggregates vote from multiple EVMs, electronic voting machine, and they'll be mixing them. Then these political parties and leaders will not be able to know who has voted for whom, which specific booth has voted for which specific political party. So ECI is proposing this, that it will lead to protection of voter anonymity, and it will prevent political parties from identifying and targeting specific voter groups. And before the introduction of EVM, we had ballot papers, and they were mixed to prevent the identification of voting trends. But generally, when these mixing were done of the ballot papers, so there was booth capturing and all those things which used to happen earlier. Now, booth capturing phenomena has reduced to a certain extent. So pilot testing and endorsement. So this totalizer machine is aiming to reintroduce the same level of anonymity which was there when we were doing this mixing of ballot papers. Pilot testing has been done in Meghalaya, Uttar Pradesh. Law Commission is also endorsing it. ECI is also in favor of it. Some parties are also supporting it like Congress, NCP, BSP. But BJP is opposing this proposal. Again, we are not going political. We are not targeting any political party. We are just trying to understand if BJP, because in hindsight or in like when you're reading it from outside, you feel like this is a very noble proposal. But BJP also has a very valid point that use of the totalizer does not serve a larger public interest and raise concern about data leakage. When you're trying to do this mixing and everything, maybe there is a probability that data will leak from EVM, and that will not serve the purpose. What you wanted to, you were not able to do, or what you wanted to do rather, you're not able to do that, right? So differing views among political parties reflect the complexity of implementing electoral reforms. But all in all, if you feel like if more and more parties come together, and they are coming together, there is a very high probability that totalizer machine will be implemented. But we do also have to look at the complexity involved, whether it will make the whole election process much more lengthier. It's already very lengthy in our country. So election commission and other stakeholders have a lot of looking to do when it comes to implementing totalizer machines. Now, what is the conclusion here? So debate highlights the need to measure or need for measures that ensure voter anonymity and protect democratic principles. And it again aims to mask booth level voting patterns to prevent post-election harassment. We have talked about it. ECI is committed, and it will promote or it will safeguard voter privacy. We need to have a discussion among political parties, and hopefully there will be a positive verdict on it. Now let's talk about and let's solve some prelims practice questions. And as I've told you earlier, and in the previous DNA video also, I've told you that you have to tell your marks. At the end, in the comment section, post how much you're getting. Even if you're getting 0 out of 5, don't worry about it. The purpose is you have to, like once you have solved a question, let's say on finance commission here, you won't be, and there's a very high probability that you won't be making the same mistake in exam. So do tell your marks in the comment section. That will be very motivating for other people as well. Consider the following statement with reference to terms used by Finance Commission. We have talked about Finance Commission. We have talked about what is income distance, demographic performance, tax effort. So here, have a look at these statements, and you can pause me here. What is correct? Income distance, whatever they have written here, difference in per capita income between a given state and state with highest per capita income. We have taken the example of Goa. This is correct. So if one is correct, always be on the lookout for option elimination. Demographic performance, we have talked about, check on birth and death rates, fertility rate. Second is also correct. That means you can eliminate D. You're left with A and C now. Tax effort refers to assessment of how well a state manages its population metrics. No, population metric is there in the demographic performance. Tax effort is if you are able to, like, the capacity is 10 crore, you can extract 10 crore. And like the capacity is 10 crore, you're able to extract 8 crore. So that is your tax effort. You're good in it. You have 80% tax effort ratio, right? So third is wrong here. If third is wrong, even then you have already eliminated third. So let's check fourth, and they have written may use. So fourth statement is also correct, and the answer is C, 1, 2, and 4 only. Let's move on to the next question. Again, pause me, solve the question, and then unpause me and listen what I'm saying. Which technology is proposed by Election Commission of India to ensure voter anonymity by masking booth level voting pattern? And the answer is totalizer technology. Straightforward question. If you have done this or listened to this video, you would have solved it. Let's come to the next question. Recently, scientists measured the mass of top quark with unprecedented precision. What is the significance of this achievement? The significance is top quark is a fundamental particle. It will be helping us in understanding other different fundamental particles, right? Improved understanding of the Higgs boson and Higgs field. This is a tricky question. So if you have got this question wrong, don't worry about it. But yes, top quark mass, we have seen GeV upon C square, giga electron volt divided by means speed of the light squared. We have seen that means unit of it. So the answer is improved understanding of the Higgs boson and Higgs field. Let's come to the fourth question related to Project Nexus and Bank for International Settlement. Have a look at this. Don't worry. Sometimes what happens when you see a big question, you're like, oh my God, such a big question, I will not solve it. The bigger the question is in UPSC, what we have seen in the trends is the questions are generally easier. Even if you're able to eliminate one statement, you're getting the answer. So Project Nexus is a multilateral initiative aimed at enabling instant cross-border retail payments. This is correct. First is correct. Eliminate option. You're left with ABD rather. RBI has joined Project Nexus, which is also correct. So second is also correct. So that means no, you are not able to eliminate anything. Project Nexus is conceptualized by Innovation Hub, BIS, correct. So 1, 2, 3, that means you have eliminated a fourth statement. BIS is not headquartered in New York. It is headquartered in Switzerland. If you are not wrong, Basel. So fourth is wrong and the answer is B, 1, 2, 3. Interesting question. And again, I'm telling you, even if you're getting 0 out of 5, don't worry about it. Keep on solving DNA and keep on improving your marks. That will give you more and more confidence. Chital, now let's see this. Chital are listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. Cheetahs are currently found in large population in both sub-Saharan Africa and Australia. So first is wrong. Chital is not vulnerable, cheetah is vulnerable. Chital is least concerned. So first is wrong, eliminate these two options. You're left with only 2 or D, neither 1 nor 2. Cheetahs are currently found in large population in sub-Saharan Africa, but not Australia. You don't find cheetah in large population in Australia. 1 or 2 cheetah you may introduce, but they're not found there in large populations. Second is also wrong. The answer is D, neither 1 nor 2. Now let's solve a mains practice question. Discuss the role and agendas of 16th Finance Commission. We have discussed this in detail related to local bodies, cities, what are the issues. Then we do not have 2021 census, we have old data. You will talk about all these agendas. Apart from that, you will talk about the importance of concepts of income, distance, demographic performance and tax effort, right? So here, introduction, you will talk about it is a constitutional body under Article 280. Previously, when we were talking about this article, I have asked you 148 deals with which particular constitutional body. And then you will talk about 73rd, 74th constitutional amendment, local bodies, the financial support they need, and how much devolution of resources still a concern when it comes to local bodies, economic importance of cities, and how much they are contributing to GDP and revenue, but still financial devolution is not as much as compared to the villages, which we can understand, but there is a need for more devolution of resources to cities. Issue arising from reliance on outdated census data, 2011 data, we have not yet conducted 2021 data, or 2021 census rather. Concepts of income, distance, demographic performance, tax effort, this we have talked about in the article in the article which we have discussed, then in the prelims question also. So by this particular point of time, you must have remembered what was income, distance, demographic performance and tax effort. And in the conclusion, you will talk about the suggestions on how 16th Finance Commission can enhance the financial devolution to urban local bodies and ensure more equitable resource allocation, thereby fulfilling PM Modi sir's philosophy of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So that's it for this DNA of 2nd July. If you like the video, do like, share and subscribe. I have already told you, you have to post your marks in the comment section, how much you have got out of 5 of the prelims practice questions. Take care, be blessed, see you soon.